Paramount Pictures is currently filming a major motion picture in North Georgia called
Very interesting things which you'll see once you check out that movie.
We generally work on a few different types of projects. Obviously, we do a lot of short films.
Michael, how did you get started in filmmaking?
A very large part of the success of any project.
And I started my filmmaking career actually on a cruise ship making short films.
Wow. I'm the executive producer to our new feature film, The Common Denominator.
Tell us a little bit about your character in the film.
She's really upset from the beginning, from the get-go.
Tell everybody a little bit about yourself.
Well, basically, I somehow started acting in 1990.
Hi everyone and welcome to another episode of Ruel Hollywood. My name is Priyanka Karan and I'm here at the Hammond House in Atlanta, Georgia, and I will be talking with Nikki Young and some of the cast members for the upcoming movie Whistle Lesson. So take a seat and enjoy. Hey everyone, welcome to Ruel Hollywood. I am here with Nikki Young, who is the director and writer for the movie Whistle Lesson. So Nikki, how are you doing today?
I'm good, how are you?
Great, great. So Nikki, you want to tell us a little bit about what you've been up to, because you're obviously a veteran on our show, and you want to tell us what you've been doing in the meantime?
Well, I'm an actress, so I've been going to auditions and looking for other projects to do, but mainly developing my own projects. Okay. So writing, and so in between Winning Lisa and Whistle Lesson, working on writing Whistle Lesson and all the things that go into producing a film. So.
Great, great. So you want to tell us a little bit about kind of what inspired you to write Whistle Lesson?
Sure. Whistle Lesson, I was inspired by my own relationship with my own grandparents. I was fortunate enough to know all four of my grandparents and also my great-grandmother. And so I had a really strong, close relationship with all of them. And I wanted to do a film and tell a story that really paid tribute to that. And the lessons that they taught me and all the things that I learned from them and just the valuable relationship that I had with them. So that's what inspired me to do Whistle Lesson.
Great, great. Are any of them alive still now?
I have one grandmother that's still alive. So my relationship with her is, is very precious. So yeah, but I was just fortunate that, all through my grandparents, all four of my grandparents and my great-grandmother got to see me, grow up. So, and a lot of people don't have that, experience, so it was, yeah, I was very lucky to have them really be a part of my life and be a part of helping to raise me, because I would stay with my great-grandmother when my mom was at work. I would, my grandparents picked me up from school, so they were very involved in my life.
Great, great. So you want to maybe tell us on what has probably been one of the biggest lessons you learned from your grandparents?
Wow.
That's a tough one, isn't it?
It's a tough one. I mean, there are so many lessons, but they really played a big part in, I would say, from my great-grandmother, her faith that she had. She had a quiet strength about her, and really was a good example of how to have faith and how to just do the right thing and be a good person. And so that's something that I learned, young on, watching her and watching her just go through life's challenges and how she weathered, when she wasn't doing well, and how she just continued to have faith. And so that's been a great example for me.
Great, great. So you want to tell us a little bit about kind of how it's been different, producing and kind of being on this project versus some of the other projects you've done?
Sure. With my first project, Winning Lisa, I kind of took it on not knowing at all, or just knowing very little about what it meant to do and produce a film. And I was the star of I played the lead character. So I was kind of doing everything. I was the writer, director, producer, and also the star of it. And it was a great experience. I learned a lot, but I also learned that it would probably be better not to do everything the next time around. So with Whistle Lesson, I knew kind of from the experience of Winning Lisa, I knew what kind of things to prepare for, and was better able to pre-produce or, you know, prepare, do a lot of, pre-production. A lot more pre-production went into Whistle Lesson because of my experience with winning Lisa. And I'm not the star of Whistle Lesson. I do play a supporting role, but, and that was a lot better because I was able to concentrate on all the things that went on behind the scenes and able to really concentrate on directing.
So who are some of the key people that you used that you felt were really important in making this, you know, movie a success?
Well, first I would have to say my parents, because they were my executive producers, and also Errol and Elaine Davis were also my executive producers. So that was really critical to get their support. They're really close family friends. And I also had some other family and friends who contributed money and, you know, believed in me to get this project done. So wouldn't have been able to do it without their contributions. The director of photography, Tony Shock, we call him Shock, Tony Shock and C. He was critical. He was like a one-man crew, did everything, the lighting, the sound, just really captured the story just in a really beautiful way. It's just really, you know, better than I could have really expected. So I could not have done it without him. He was like the one-man production crew, and also did the editing with me. So, and then the other person that was really critical is my sister, who composed original music. Wow. Yeah, Chrissy Young. She composed the music for the film. And then
family affair.
Definitely a family affair. And I also have to say the Lawrence family, Josephine's mom, Dana, and the rest of their family who opened up their homes to be the set and, you know, just were always there through the whole project to help with everything. So, I mean, and I can't name everybody.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I mean, we'd be here for a while. But there were just so many people that, you know, just said, okay, what do you need? How can we help you? So, yeah.
It's been awesome, a great experience. What do you think has been kind of one of the biggest challenges that you've had for this production? And what has been one of the biggest achievements that you think you've been able to get out of this production?
Wow. Okay, one of the biggest challenges, I know for me, I kind of had a set date in my head of when I wanted to shoot it. So one of the challenges was, you know, trying to get all the pieces together. That's always the challenge, I think, in producing a film or putting together anything like this. So it's trying to get all the pieces together. And I think one of the, what was the second part?
I said one of the biggest achievements.
The biggest achievement was, well, getting it done. Okay. And I think also in getting it done in kind of, even though I wasn't able to start shooting the film exactly when I wanted to originally, it all kind of worked out and fell into place so that it all got done when it was supposed to get done, really. And that's kind of a tribute to, that speaks to my, you know, my faith and knowing that, okay, everything's going to work out, everything's going to fall into place. And the fact that I was able to get the film done and then get it edited and then actually screen it within, you know, like 6 months, I think was a great achievement. Yeah. And to be able to do it on a very limited budget. So.
Nikki, you want to tell us how long it took you to kind of write Whistle Lesson?
It took me about maybe 6 weeks to 2 months to write it.
That's really not bad. So you're saying within a year, you were pretty much able to get the whole thing, you know, from concept to production. And so what are you thinking about distribution? What's kind of your plans and your thoughts on the distribution process for this movie?
I'm actually not sure. I'm looking at some different options in terms of directly, you know, selling it on DVD. One of the other things that we'd like to do with the film, because it has such powerful lessons for kids, and the whole relationship between grandparents and children and parents and children and brothers and sisters, what I'd like to do is turn it into a series so that every episode there are so many lessons that people can learn from their grandparents or parents, and there are so many challenges that kids go through. So one of the things that I'd like to do is to create a series that where Kylie and her grandfather continue to just have these conversations where he teaches her these valuable lessons, because there are so many things, so many challenges that kids learn. And I think that there really aren't a lot of television shows out there and a lot of programming that really teaches kids how to be good people. And that's really, I think, the value in having those relationships, not with just your, you know, your relatives, your grandparents that are your blood relatives, but any older people that you can, who can impart that knowledge and that wisdom. I think it's just incredibly valuable for kids today to have those kind of role models and those kind of people who can impart that wisdom and you know, and have those relationships. And I think that even for kids who might not have their grandparents might not have had the opportunity to know their grandparents, they can find someone in their life who can represent that that person and who can kind of impart that wisdom. And hopefully through Whistle Lesson, they'll be able to get some of those lessons.
Have you thought about maybe distributing to some of the schools and things in the area?
That's a good question. Actually, one of the things that we're doing now is we've launched a tour of Whistle Lesson, and we're actually showing it at different elementary schools, community organizations, and things like that. So in churches. So, you know, if people are interested in having us come show the film and then having a conversation afterwards, that's what we're doing. Not just, you know, really just anywhere that someone wants to have the film screened. You know, we're kind of open to that. So we're touring it around. And
I mean, I definitely want to applaud you for, you know, taking the time to actually talk about a movie like this, because I think there's so important to have dialogue, you know, and being able to talk about such important issues and have kids, because there's so many challenges that kids are facing nowadays. I used to tutor at an elementary school, and just I was amazed with the amount of issues that they were going through. They're like 7, 8, 9 years old, and I think it's really, really important. That's actually very great. So is there any other projects that you're kind of working on next? Is there anything upcoming?
Well, I mean, the focus of my time right now is actually Whistle Lesson, and expanding that into a series. I've developed some other episodes. So working on how the best way to kind of get that out there. And I also have some other screenplays, and also with Winning Lisa, I've developed, that was a 40-minute short film, but I've expanded the script to feature length. Wow. So there's a possibility of making that into a feature-length movie.
So you got a few things on your plate already, huh?
Things that I'm working on.
Great, great. So before we get going, the one thing I wanted to ask you was, do you want to give us and the audience kind of contact information, kind of how they can get a hold of you if they want to get more information about your upcoming projects, and things like that?
Sure. Well, if you'd like to learn more about NIKKIYO Films, you can go to www.nikkiyofilms.com. That's NIKKIFILMS.com. We're also on MySpace at NIKKIYO Films. And you can see the trailers for Whistle Lesson, for Winning Lisa. You can also just learn about what the screening schedule is going to be. We did screen at the Hollywood Black Film Festival in June, so you know, any other festival appearances that we have or any other screenings that we have around the country, we'll have that posted on the website. If anyone's interested in having us come to their school or to their church or to their organization, they can also get in touch with me through the website.
So one quick more last thing before you go, because you just mentioned the film festival. How was that experience?
The film festival experience was great. The Hollywood Black Film Festival, they just literally rolled out the red carpet for us, and we were part of the Black Women in Film screening in that program. So it was amazing. It was a great experience for me, and also for Josephine to be out there and, you know, be treated like a star, and get to go and be on the red carpet and meet other people. For me, it's really always valuable to network with other filmmakers and see and hear about what other people are doing, and to have those, you know, develop those kind of relationships.
Great, great. Well, thank you so much, and all the best, and good luck on you know, for the movie. And I mean, it looks phenomenal, so I know you're going to have a great response. And thank you so much for taking the time to come on the show with us.
Thanks for having me.
Hey everyone, I'm Priyanka Karan, and here with us we have Charles Black and Josephine Lawrence from the movie Whistle Lesson. How are you guys doing today?
Good.
Great.
Great, great. So why don't you tell us a little bit about your character in the movie, The Whistle Lesson?
I play Kylie, a little girl that gets taught by her granddad how to act, and she has a lot of fights with her sister, and he tells her how to make like how to make it up.
Okay. So you get some life lessons from Grandpa? That's kind of the idea? What was one of the best things you learned while you were kind of doing the movie and playing this character?
Think before you speak.
Think before you speak. That's a really good lesson to learn, huh? Great, great. Charles, you want us to tell us a little bit about your character?
Yeah, my character is called Pop Pop, the grandfather, and one of the things I teach her, of course, is how to whistle. Okay. And that's a part of a life lesson because she's told she can't learn how to whistle. She's only a stupid girl, you know. No. Of course, we have to challenge that, and we do successfully, I'll have you know. Oh, wow. All right.
What was one of the favorite things that you enjoyed about, like, kind of teaching your granddaughter in the movie? What was one of the best things you liked about that?
Well, I mean, she was facing challenges of any kid her age and relating to her peers and all that, and of course she was easily dissuaded, you know, from continuing to interact with kids, including her sister and all that. So we had a chance to, you know, talk about some of those things and the fact that she could, in fact, hold her own and overcome any kind of challenges, and not to believe that she couldn't. All right.
Great, great. So Josephine, have you done any other movies?
I've done Couch in New York, and I've done Reverie in Savannah.
And how's those experiences been?
Oh, in Reverie, I got to do one of my favorite things, and I got to do hula hooping. And in Couch, I got to play with toys and watch TV.
Oh, wow. So you got to get to do a lot of fun stuff while doing these movies, huh?
Yes, I did.
So is there any other projects that you're working on?
Well, I've done ads and voiceovers and commercials.
Is there anyone in particular that's your super favorite?
The Publix ads.
The Publix ads? Very cool, very cool. And is there any other projects that's kind of in the works right now?
Not right now.
So tell me something. You know, you're a professional actor, and do you get time to spend time with your friends too when you're not working? Do you get to do some fun stuff also?
A lot.
A lot? So what grade are you in right now?
4th grade.
Wow, you're a pretty big girl and pretty mature. I guess mom's had a lot to do with that, huh? Great. Charles, you want to tell us a little bit about your acting experience?
First thing I have to tell you, I was in 4th grade once too.
Of course, of course. Just not too long ago, though, right? Not too long ago.
Very long ago. Well, you know, I've been in the acting game now for about 18 years, so I'm a late starter. Didn't start as young as Josephine, so that's why I'm not as good. But I've done made-for-TV movies, TV series, and some big screen stuff, and I do some voiceover work as well. I haven't done a TV commercial for Publix, but I've done voiceover for Publix. But I'm going to be just like Josephine when I grow up.
Okay. Great, great. So is there anything else you're working on right now?
Well, I'm in a current series, I can't even say it, a BET series that's running their first scripted series called Somebody's that just finished actually its pilot run, and I expect it's going to be picked up for future seasons.
Very exciting.
Yeah. And I've done some Tyler Perry stuff, and right now I've been busy with an election campaign, so except for a little voice work, that's most of what I've been involved with. Right.
So you got some interesting stuff going on.
Yeah, just enough to stay out of trouble.
Just enough, just a little bit. Awesome, awesome. Let's maybe go back to the movie and talk a little bit about kind of how'd you get introduced to Nikki Young, who's the director of the movie, and kind of how did that whole process start out for you?
Well, I met Nikki on an earlier project, I guess the first project was the one where she prepared a tribute to August Wilson after he died. Not long after he died, it was on the anniversary of his birth, as I recall, and she put together several series, scenes of his plays, and I was, for some good reason, lucky enough to play in a couple of those, and it was a great experience. She did a great job with that.
So Josephine, do you want to tell us how you met Nikki first?
I was at ballet classes in the hall, and and Judge his name is Judge Lucky, and he wanted me to be in his acting classes.
Okay.
And so I took them, and I took other ones too, and that's how I met Miss Nikki.
Awesome, awesome. So you do ballet too. What are some of the other activities you do?
I do gymnastics, and I did jazz.
Pretty talented girl. Smart and pretty. And talented, right?
Thanks.
Great, great. Well, thank you so much for speaking with us today. And this movie looks fascinating and fantastic. So I'm thinking we're going to look forward to watching it.
It's a great film. I think it's well conceived, it was well shot, and perfectly well acted by our star.
Great, great. Is there anything you want to tell our audience or tell your fans before you go?
Watch the whistle lesson.
Any parting words, Charles?
Well, it's an inspirational story. I think people of any age and families would appreciate it very much. The spirit and the relationships and all that, and the butterfly. The butterfly, yes. You got to watch for the butterfly.
Okay. I'll make sure people keep a lookout for that. Great, thank you guys.